So some of you may have had a business plan for 2020. Pretty much throw that out the window for this year and let's start fresh. The Chamber has a great partnership with the Small Business Development Center, and our local rep is Billy Wunderlich, and she's helped a lot of small businesses here in our community. And today, Billy is going to provide us with some great information and best practices as you revise your business plan. And again, we will have a Q&A session at the very end. So take some notes and throw out those questions, and we'll get to those at the end. So Billy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Erin. Well, hi everybody, I'm Billy Wunderlich, business advisor with the Northeast ISBDC. I want to thank you for taking time to participate today in this webinar. Just so you know, it'll probably take me about 15 to 20 minutes to go through this presentation. Then we'll have the time at the end for questions that Erin mentioned. Also, it's my understanding that Sarah is going to be sending you our request for counseling form. If you can complete that, what that does is that makes you a client with us. And then going forward, if you have any questions or if you would like any further help, then I'm able to do that. I guess to get started, I just thought I'd give you an idea of who the Northeast ISBDC is and what we do. We are one of 10 counties in the state. We each have our own host. Ours is Purdue-Fort Wayne, and our office is located in Fort Wayne, and we cover Allen County and the 9 surrounding counties as well as Wells. Our office has the equivalent of 3 full-time business advisors. We all have different areas of expertise and work internally together to meet the needs of our clients. If something is beyond our ability, we do our best to connect clients with outside resources. The best thing about the Northeast ISBDC is that we are no charge. We bring resources to people who are wanting to start a business, as well as the existing business owners such as yourselves. I've been with the center for about 17 and a half years in different capacities, and most recently as a part-time business advisor. As you can see, we offer quite a range of services. We offer one-on-one counseling, typically in person. However, that has temporarily changed due to the COVID, and we are all working remotely, conducting phone or video conferencing, as well as ongoing follow-up through emails. I come to Wells County once a month to meet with clients at Wells County Chamber. Again, that is temporarily on hold due to COVID. Hopefully we will get back on track soon with that. I won't go through all of the services that are listed on here, but our website is listed on the final slide, and it has all this information for you. One of the services we provide is business plan assistance, and so Erin has asked me to provide some insight into revising business plans that today no longer look like they did in January. First, none of us could have predicted COVID-19 pandemic. This is new for all of us, and since none of us have been through something like this before, I am going to talk in generalities on the business plan. Each of you are unique in what your business is and where you find yourselves at this point, and that makes it a little hard to kind of go in depth in a webinar. And it's my understanding that most of, if not all of you, have business plans already. So some of what I touch on today will probably be familiar to you, but the contents of a business plan are the same whether we are in the midst of a pandemic or not. If any of you decide after this webinar that you would like more one-on-one help, I am more than happy to work with you. Go on to the next. One of my old directors had a saying, "A business plan is a living, breathing document. You should be updating and revising it regularly." And this is true whether we are in the midst of a pandemic or not. Your business plan is your company's roadmap to reaching your goals. As your company grows and changes, so should the plan. One thing this pandemic may have done is force some issues to surface that hadn't crossed your radar before. But the business plan is what will help you figure out these areas and put a solution in place moving forward. I just briefly want to include the sections that a business plan should contain, as I'm sure you know. But again, pandemic or not, these topics are what should be addressed in your plan. I'm going to briefly touch on a few of these. I won't go into all of them. I will ask you questions to kind of get you thinking about the situation that you're in right now, and what's different, and what you need to include in your plan. So first, I'd like to briefly talk about the products and services. In your plan, you initially answered questions such as, how does it work? What are its features and benefits? What materials and equipment are needed? What are your days and hours of operation? What are your labor requirements? What are the steps in your service process? But many of those answers look different today. You will want to update your plan with what these answers look like now and for the near future, as COVID will likely impact for some time to come. Something to think about when describing your company's benefits. I briefly want to touch on this one because a lot of times people will start with describing their benefits as saying, oh, we offer the best customer service, or we have the lowest prices, things like that. And these seem to be just the go-to responses for a lot of people. But these statements don't really mean anything to the customer, and that's because the customer really already expects those things from you. Most people will not deal with a company they believe will have poor customer service, for example. So here's an illustration of what I mean. We had a client who provides maintenance and cleaning for lake homes. When asked what their benefits were, they said, outstanding customer service, and we save our customer save them money. But they don't save them money. They actually cost them money. So the focus was suggested to highlight what the customer gained by using their service. A couple of benefit suggestions were, spend more time on the water, less time cleaning your home, or have your home clean and ready for visitors without losing time on the water. This kind of gives you an idea how you can see how the customer would find value in them spending more time on the water because of the service this company offered, rather than the company having outstanding customer service. I bring this up because you may need to look at how you are presenting the benefits you provide to prospective customers, especially now with unsure times. What worked before may not work so well right now. And something else to consider, has the definition of your product or services, price levels, costs, or margins changed? Have you had to alter your prices, or do you need to in the short term? What does it cost to deliver your products and services? Has this changed? How have your gross margins changed? You want to include all of these things in your plan. These are things you want to be thinking about. And then, next slide. And as you know, one big impact for many has been the change to hours and days that the business is open. What does that look like currently, and how has that impacted your revenue? What can be adjusted to help offset these changes? Labor is another area that needs to be addressed. How many employees do you need for the current hours of operation? How will you utilize them? Do you have a plan for ramping back up to full steam as Indiana begins to open up over the next couple of months? Will you be able to, or will you have to scale back for a while to recover? These are also things that you need to be thinking about and including. And have your sources of supplies and methods of receiving them been impacted? You may need to identify alternative suppliers. In the beginning, when you initially wrote your plan, you identified your customer. Today, has that target market changed or been impacted by COVID, thereby impacting you or how you reach them? Make sure to align your advertising with your customer habits. Example, if you own a clothing boutique and you determine you reach a lot of your people through Facebook or Instagram, you really want to be utilizing that tool and that platform to promote your boutique and like your business and your new items and things like that. So you want to make sure that the dollars you are spending are aimed towards the customers in your target area, instead of casting a wider net that will touch on many people, but not necessarily just your target. As you all know, budget is always important, but even more so right now. Make sure to set your marketing budget and stay within it. And you want to be monitoring your results so you know what is working and what isn't working, and thereby allowing you to continue directing your advertising dollars efforts to what produce. And like I said, I just wanted to do a brief overview on a few of those sections of the plan and ask questions to get you thinking about how your business looks today in the organized structure of the plan. Now I want to address COVID impact and some suggestions for the short term. COVID's impact has been felt immediately for many and may still affect others down the road. Some things to consider. Be prepared to adjust as needed. This falls under the operations section of your plan. What business practices will you need to change to maintain critical operations? If necessary, identify alternative suppliers to prevent disruption in your supply chain. I know of a few businesses who are food related that have just recently experienced disruption in their supply chain, and they are unable to provide certain menu items because of this. If you are able to be proactive now and find other sources as backup suppliers for various products, you will be ahead of the game. It may even mean being creative and thinking outside of the box, such as working with a competitor. Everyone is feeling the impact of COVID and may be willing to work together short term. Moving on, cash flow is another major problem for businesses due to COVID. Some steps businesses may want to try that can have positive impact on cash flow immediately are: one, monitoring accounts receivables. During economic downturns, first thing some customers may do is delay paying you or even default altogether. Credit card customers may even dispute charges. So understanding there is a strong chance of this happening and putting together a plan outlining how you will deal with this now will serve you well in the long term. Two, focus on getting your customers to pay you faster if possible. Now I know this approach can seem undoable considering the circumstances that we all are in, but a way to help accomplish this is by offering prompt payment discounts. Your invoices may be due in 30 days, but you can offer a discount if they pay you immediately. An example I've seen of prompt payment discount is in healthcare. You go to the ER, and when you receive the bill, they offer you a discount if you pay in full by the date. Shifting customers paying you at time of service and not carrying those invoices would be the most effective for helping your cash flow. The upfront discount may help encourage payment ahead of time. You can also look at changing terms so that they can pay less at least, but they are paying you as opposed to them not paying you at all. Third, your accounts payable time frame. Another option for helping your cash flow is being a little slower to pay your bills. The longer you wait to pay your bills, the more cash you'll have in the bank. And this one's a little trickier to navigate as your vendors are looking for their payments from you, just like you are looking for payments from your customers. If you wait too long, you risk upsetting your vendors and damaging those relationships. But you have to weigh pros and cons and decide if this is a route to take in the short term. If you choose to slow pay, make sure you find a good balance between helping your cash flow and not upsetting those vendors. 4 is inventory. Excess inventory sitting around is hurting cash flow, especially now when how we do business has been severely impacted. Is it feasible for you to carry less inventory right now and only purchase new inventory when absolutely necessary? Erring on the conservative side. If you do have excess inventory on hand, are you able to liquidate any of it to help increase your cash on hand right now? 5, discounts. You can approach your vendors to see if any of them are willing to negotiate discounts or longer term agreements. Start by making a list of your vendors and begin with those who you spend the most money with. Remember, these are steps to investigate to help improve your cash flow short term and to get your business through the economic crisis. The ideas I shared are short-term solutions. Now I'd like to share a couple of longer-term solutions. Existing lines of credit. If you have an existing line of credit, now would be the time to use that resource. This will allow you to have cash on hand to help cover your business needs if you are finding yourself short on cash. We do not know how long businesses will feel the impact of COVID or how long the recovery process will be, and a line of credit is a nice safety net to have to manage all these unknowns. Secondly, applying for a business loan or line of credit. I have to be honest, I want to point out that new loans are not happening right now. Lenders have not had an appetite for lending as the risk during this time is too great. But there have been some whispers recently of some lenders beginning to reopen to making new loans in the near future. Having said that, it does not hurt to contact your lender and find out where they are with their new loans and if they have a time frame for when they will begin taking applications again. My best advice, if you are looking to obtain a loan or open a new line of credit, is to be in communication with your banker so that you're ready whenever they begin making these loans again. With that said, I want to talk about an important tool to help you during this time, and that is forecasting. Forecasting is a helpful tool as it allows you to make your budget and create different scenarios to understand how changes in sales will impact cash. Some of the questions to answer are, how quickly are you using up your cash reserves, and how long do you have before you run out of cash? Are there marketing programs that you should cut or reduce? For most businesses, payroll is the biggest cost. With your revised forecast, take a look at how changes in payroll could keep you afloat. You have some options with that, such as freeze hiring, layoffs, cut all salaries by a certain percentage, or cut leadership salaries. And fourth, take a look at all discretionary spending. From office supplies to employee perks, take a close look at every expense and see what you can cut moving forward. The benefit of having a plan is that you can quickly adjust your sales forecast, adjust your expense budget, and see what impact that's going to have on your cash flow moving forward. A cash flow forecast will highlight your trouble spots in advance so you have time to react and come up with solutions. You won't have all the right or concrete answers when you begin forecasting, and that's okay. Much like when you created projections when you first started your business, it's best guess based on industry and now on your historical data and what your business has done during COVID impacted months. What do you think your future sales will look like? Based on that, you can then explore some different scenarios along with your plan to help make decisions on how best to lean out your expenses. With that said, I want to share a tool we have called Live Plan. This is an online business plan writing tool as well as a tool for creating financials. It has an awesome forecasting section that helps you to develop different scenarios for your business, like we've talked about in this webinar. It is all automated, so you don't have to deal with spreadsheets, which makes it really nice. If you are interested in trying Live Plan, contact me via email, as this is a free tool, but you must be a client with the Northeast ISBDC to access it. And so with that, some final thoughts. As we plan for the future, know that this crisis will not last forever, and we will find solid footing again. You are not alone. Every business owner is experiencing negative effects caused by this pandemic, as these uncertain times have brought out some negative behaviors in people. And by and large, it has brought out positive in how people are stepping up and supporting each other. No one wants to see businesses fail, people out of work or struggling to make payments, and there's a good chance you'll find support amongst your customers, vendors, and your community. My observation for the Wells County community aspect is that you have a wonderful resource in the Chamber. I know Aaron and the rest of the Wells County Chamber team have and do go above and beyond in being a resource for their business community. I can honestly say Wells Chamber is one of the most engaged and active and supportive chambers with its business community that I've seen during this crisis. Also, information and transparency can be the most effective method for surviving a crisis. So by reviewing your financial statements now and forecasting potential scenarios, you are helping yourself make the best decisions for your business. And you also will have a plan that you can take to your vendors if need be. Finally, consider that it may be time to look for some working capital. Keep your eyes open for any new government legislation to help small businesses. I do not know of anything right now, but you never know if something new will come out. And talk to your banks. Keep in communication so that you know when they are accepting new applications so you are ready. And don't give up. I am available to meet individually and I'm happy to do so. As of right now, Purdue Fort Wayne has us working remotely until July 1st. So in the meantime, the best way to reach me is through email, the email on this slide. And I want to thank you for taking the time to participate. I know this is short, but I can only kind of do overview with everybody. So if you have any questions, great. And if you don't right now and you think of something later, you are more than welcome to email me.
Awesome.
Thanks.
And for those of you on the call, Sarah's going to be emailing you some forms. That way you can sign up to be a part of the Small Business Development Center with Billy. And that way she can get kind of that paperwork done and be able to help you and answer questions and be, the two of you then can be a client for one another, and she can better assist you and direct you with different needs that you may have. Billy is like I said before, a wonderful resource, a great partner of ours. Any small business should just check in with her, make sure everything is going okay. They can review your financials, they can review your marketing plan, your business plan, and just make sure that you are on track. Business owners, you have to be everything, and sometimes that's impossible to be everything and know how to do everything. And this is a great resource that you can tap into to get some expertise. And like she said, she's got an office full of people who share different talents that can bring things to the table for you. So please take advantage of that. Does anybody have any specific questions that we can help you answer right now? Feel free to use the Q&A feature, the chat feature, anything like that. Great overview of the business plan, and it's just a constant working document right now. Everything changes. If your company has not and could apply for the PPP and you're not sure how to do that, check with your financial institution, check with your accountant, check with your financial planner. All of these individuals should know how to help you, how to direct you in getting the application completed. All right, well, I am not seeing any questions come up. So Billy, thank you. Your email address is on there. She is very prompt at responding to emails. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. And you're always welcome to reach out to the chamber as well, and we can direct you in the best way possible for your needs. You're welcome, Joy. Thank you for being a part of this. And everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate your time. And
Thank you.
everybody take care. Thanks.
All right.